Nice meme, dudes.
Hi Destiny, hi chat. Love you guys.
I reach.
I was listening to Rush Limbaugh today talk about how the Iran deal was really just a personal deal made by Obama and that nobody else even wanted to do it. And really, it was just Obama that wanted to do it for, I don't even know what the fuck his conspiracy reason was for it. Holy shit, this shit has me triggered like a motherfucker. Oh. I can never get into Rush Limbaugh. He only takes phone calls with people that agree with him. Wasn't there a prominent example where he got bamboozled? I don't know. I've never heard it before. And I've listened to Rush Limbaugh quite a bit. Every single phone call that all the Sean Hannity, Buck Sexton, Rush Limbaugh, Glenn Beck for sure. The only person I've heard take negative calls from them is Michael Savage, but I think that's just because that's part of his shtick. He likes to shout at people. Why do you care so much about no longer being part of the Iran deal? I don't understand why we need to be in the deal or why we can't renegotiate. So if you back up, there's kind of a larger framework there's two ways to view the world basically right now. One way, the only reasonable, intelligent way to view the world is that everybody is becoming more connected. Everything is becoming more globalized, and we need to put ourselves in the best position possible to capitalize on that going forward. That is the way of the future, period. Whether you like it or not, you will be kicked, or you will be dragged kicking and screaming into that new world. It's already happened. It's already in the process of happening. It's going to continue to happen. So you can either try your best to adapt to the new world where everything and every person is interconnected. People can travel easier, people can communicate easier, people can buy and sell products easier. Or you can live, and then there's the second movement, the Brexiters, the Trumples, the Le Pens, I guess. I don't know. The second idea where we all need to shell our countries and wall ourselves off and go back to the dark ages of unilateral or bilateral agreements on everything, single parties agreeing with other countries and kind of closing things down and locking everything up. And it's just this really autistic way of looking at the world, this idea that we would undo so much of what we've accomplished to go back to this world where everybody's just locked off and not being as integrated with the rest of the world as we can for a variety of reasons, whether because people are scared that their language or culture is disappearing, or people are scared that there are too many dark people in their country, or people are scared that I don't even fucking know what random autistic shit people are worried about.
Good morning, Destiny. It's 11 a.m. for me. First one to make Destiny laugh with a video gets a free T1 sub from me if you don't already have one.
So the problem is that hold on.
Full speed backwards, boys.
So the Iran deal, in my opinion, represented a step forward towards that more globalized future, where you finally have the United States and the permanent members of the Security Council plus France plus Germany. France is a permanent member plus Germany, I think, working towards making an agreement.
Mercantilism.
Making an agreement to keep Iran from getting nuclear weapons. This was like an immensely positive thing. Like it was, in my opinion, I thought that and the ACA would go down as being the two most important things that Obama accomplished in his administration. It kept Iran from pursuing nuclear weapons for 15 years. It got them to destroy the majority of their low-level enriched uranium stockpile. They got rid of like 2/3 of their centrifuges. I think we got a couple prisoners out of it sent back. And hopefully, the real meme going forward is that hopefully it softened Iran's view of the United States going forward as well, which, and this is hard for me to say because it's very, very complicated, but hopefully Iran softening up to the United States in the future can have good implications for everything going around in the Middle East. Because the Ayatollah and Iran and Syria are all pretty friendly with each other, as well as friendly with Russia. And a softening of relations there, whether it brings Iran closer to our side or I don't know, like this good stuff, it lays the pathway for good stuff to happen there in the future. For hopefully Iran, maybe we have a few less of the death to America chanters and a few more like, hey, the Western world maybe isn't as bad as everybody made it out to be, That direction forward was incredibly positive. The fact that we rolled back the Iran deal with fake news, literally fake news, and with no real justification, and the fact that half the country supports that blows my fucking mind.
Well, there is first the question of need, and then there is the question of possibility of a global community or global identity. In terms of need, I think it's really essential, because all the major problems humankind will face in the 21st century will be global problems that simply cannot be solved on a national basis. The traditional
That clearly didn't happen. They funded terrorist groups with the money we gave them because of their relationships with Hezbollah. It's not about funding terrorist groups. They're funding terrorist groups, whether we're friends with them or not, and our allies fund terrorist groups. So who the fuck cares? That's not even part of the conversation.
criticism of nationalism was that nationalism leads to conflict and war and so forth. And this is still true. But I think the real objection to nationalist worldview today is that nationalism prevents us from solving the major problems, which are climate change, global inequality, the threat of nuclear war, and the threat of disruptive technologies like artificial intelligence and bioengineering. It's obvious that with climate...
Don't you think it's realistic to demand the U.S. government to just completely move out of the Middle East when they fucked up in the first place? People will not be okay with it. Damn. What? No, we can't. We're never just leaving the Middle East. It's not possible. That's not happening.
Climate change, no single nation can solve the problem by itself, which is why nationalists tend to just deny the problem. At first sight, it seems strange that almost all the people who deny climate change are also from the nationalist right. I mean, what's the connection? Why don't you have left-wing socialists denying climate change? But the answer, I think, is obvious, that there is no nationalist answer to climate change.
Are terrorism an actual threat on a global scale? No. Well, hold on. It's not that terrorists aren't a threat to the Western world. It's that funding terrorism does a lot of shit in the Middle East. That's the problem. So, like, ISIS has nothing to do with fucking the European to Europe or to the United States, but they were a significant power on the ground in the Middle East, or the funding on both sides in Yemen, or the funding of Hezbollah or Hamas in Palestine. So, yeah, let me clarify that. Sorry.
As an extreme nationalist, you just have to deny the problem. But the problem is real, and unless we have a global effort...
So I don't fully understand the situation because of that. I don't have a solid opinion on this, but from what I've heard, Iran went back on their end of the deal. Is this fake? This is fake news, okay? This is literal fake news. This is literal fake news. The Netanyahu, whatever the fuck that dude's name is, the only person that says that is the Israelis. That the Americans will always suck the fuck off no matter what. Democrat or Republican, you will always be loyal to Israel for whatever fucking reason.
Then we will face a real ecological catastrophe in the coming decades. Similarly, if you think about nuclear war, this is an old lesson that humans have learned in the last 50 or 60 years. The only way to prevent nuclear war is through global cooperation. It's not something that a single country can do by itself. And this is also true of technological disruption. If you think about the dangerous potential of bioengineering and artificial intelligence, regulation on a national basis is not going to help us. If the United States, say, regulates or decides to stop all genetic experiments on human beings, or decides not to give artificial intelligence control of weapons or something like that, it's not going to help if China or North Korea continue to do it, especially because these are high-risk, high-gain technologies, and nobody would like to stay behind. If the Chinese are doing it and they gain some crucial advantage because of that, then the US will break its own ban because it wouldn't like to stay behind. The only serious way to prevent the worst outcomes is through...
The Israeli statements were based on data and intelligence taken before the agreement went into effect. If I remember correctly, the U.S. government website presented that information as though they were currently in violation of the agreement. But that wasn't true. And they called it a fucking typo on their website. U.S. walks back claim Iran has arms program. The latest on Israel's claim that it has documents proving Iran had a nuclear weapons program in the past. Has or had? The White House is quietly walking back a charge that Iran maintains an active nuclear weapons program, saying it really meant that Iran had one before the 2015 nuclear agreement. A statement sent to reporters Monday by Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said a cache of Iranian documents released by Israel is consistent with what the United States has long known. Iran has a robust clandestine nuclear weapons program, but intelligence agencies in the U.S. and overseas have stated that the 2015 deal has frozen Iran's nuclear program. The version of Sanders' statement posted to the White House website has been modified to make clear Iran had such a program. The White House is calling it a clerical error. Israel did not provide evidence that Iran is currently in violation of its nuclear agreement. And there is an independent agency that works, that is part of the UN, that is independently verified or has claimed that Iran is holding up its end of the deal. Now, maybe the whole fucking everybody is corrupt and the deep state is faking everything, but what's actually the reason for funding terrorists? Is this because some sort of shitstorm so you can enter the military and gather resources while wearing a justice? You fund terrorists because you're fighting for your interests across different parts of the world. That's why you fund terrorists. The big divide in the Middle East is the IAEA, the International Agency for Extra Action. I don't know what they're fucking IAEA. I don't know what this stands for. The International Atomic Energy Agency. These are the guys that verify that go in and verify whether or not Iran is keeping up their ends of the deal. On May 9th, so today, the IAEA is closely following developments related to the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, as requested by the UN Security Council and authorized by the IAEA Board of Governors in 2015. The IAEA is verifying and monitoring Iran's implementation of its nuclear-related commitments under the JCPOA, the Joint Committee Plan of Action. This is the Iran deal. Iran is subject to the world's most robust nuclear verification regime under the Joint Committee Plan of Action, which is a significant verification gain. As of today, the IAEA can confirm that the nuclear-related commitments are being implemented by Iran. Anybody that says they're not should be fucking shot, okay? This is not true. It is the definition of fake news. Israel likes to fuck a little bit with Syria because Syria and Iran are close allies, and anything that hurts Iran will probably hurt Assad or Syria. So that's kind of like what their game is, right? We're friends with Israel, and we're also friends with Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states. Saudi Arabia and the rest of the Gulf states tend to support Sunnis because they're Sunnis, and they support Sunnis in the Middle East, which also hurt Iran and Syria, mainly Syria right now. I don't know how much Sunni bullshit goes on in Iran, and I guess Iraq as well. I don't know what the fuck our relationship is with Iraq right now. I don't know anymore. But yeah. You are disgustingly ignorant when it comes to the Middle East. Stick to the U.S. domestic politics. Please tell me what I just said that was wrong. Overall, we're friendly with the Iraqi government, but the people are mostly mixed in the USA. I know that we were on very good terms with the Iraqi government, but after we pulled out and pulled out so much support from them, the guy that stepped in after Maliki started to make some friendly-ish and statements towards Russia and some coldish statements towards the United States because it became politically unpopular to support anything going on in Iraq. And it seemed like, I wish I should remember the guy's name, that moved in after Maliki. It seemed like they were somewhat upset about that. But then there were also a large group of people in Iraq that wanted us to leave as well. So I don't know. It's a really complicated. I'm not sure what our current. I don't know, like going forward, like what our current. I mean, we still work with them and everything. We were in removing ISIS from Mosul and other parts of the country and whatnot. So. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying that like Iraq is about to go like literally like flip to Iran or whatever, but. Does Trump have a reason to pull out? I can't say how this is good for him anyway, because it's something that Obama did, and he wants to undo everything Obama did. It's really That's it. There's nothing more. That sounds really, really dumb. Well, bring up Trump's statements. Why did Trump want to leave the Iran deal? Find him saying something about it. Because the only fucking thing he'll ever say is, it was a bad deal. It was a bad deal. It was bad. We got out-negotiated. It was bad.
Excuse me, we paid you very well to speak highly of Israel. Stick to the talking points we provided you or your credit score gets the XAYYLMAO.
Destiny, you are disgustingly ignorant when it comes to the Middle East. Stick to U.S. domestic politics. And I asked him, well, what do you mean? Or tell me what I'm wrong about. And he says, Israel are the good guys. All right. Who would benefit from leaving this deal aside from maybe Israel? I don't even know. It depends on how many dimensions of chess you want to look into it. I mean, like, you could argue on one end that it strengthens Iran's relationship with Syria and Russia, maybe because they totally cut off their relationship with the U.S. So maybe it accelerates them towards acquiring nuclear weapons. Maybe. But some people might argue that it's ultimately beneficial to the West because sanctions will finally bring Iran to its knees, although it hasn't yet. And then they'll come looking for a different deal. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Destiny, Syria for all the arms and personnel deals, possibly nuclear weapons deals with Russia, with Syria as a middleman, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. The deal is still going to go through with other partners. No. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. Other partners other countries made verbal commitments, but the U.S. has come out and said that we are going to sanction the fuck out of people that still do business with Iran. Didn't we say that? Wasn't that our statement? So I'm not sure. I don't know if the other countries continue to go through with it or not, with that threat on the table. I don't know. Sure would have been nice if he would have held those other countries that dealt with the blacklisted Russian companies to the same standards. You know, that thing that was passed with a 98% approval from Congress. Sure would have been interesting if the Trump administration would have actually fined or held those companies accountable, which they didn't at all. Remember that constitutional crisis that we just kind of like walked through and no one gave a fuck about? Destiny, I know it's fucked up, but don't we as Westerners want Israel to be strong since they're like us? Who the fuck knows with the average fucking Westerner is totally fucking retarded when it comes to shit going on in the Middle East. That's why you get people like that guy on my channel saying shit like, Israel are the good guys. The thing is that the whole Middle East is just a big proxy bullshit ground for other people's interests. And nobody, at least publicly, nobody acknowledges that. So I don't fucking know. So nothing good will happen in the Middle East until we acknowledge that and then try to figure out what the fuck we want to do going forward. I don't know if this is true. So I understand that other countries have said that they are going to stick to the deal, but I don't know if that holds true if the U.S. is actually sanctioning countries that do business with Iran. I don't know if that will actually stick. Maybe they don't think the U.S. will sanction them. If the U.S. does begin to sanction them, will you begin to lose political support in your country if you continue to work with Iran on that deal? I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not sure. And will Iran even stick to the deal if the U.S. goes back to sanctioning the fuck out of Iran? Maybe Iran will say, well, fuck it. At this point, it's not worth it. I don't know. No source, but I heard they will counter the sanction. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Good fucking luck sanctioning the entirety of the EU. Trump would do it. I mean, I think that the current people in, Congress wouldn't do it. I don't know.
randomly bumped into this guy the other day. I bumped into him like a couple days ago.
Oh my god! Entertainment! Entertainment!
Dude, look. And we ran into him on the streets, and he was like, and then
Why would Trump would sanction America if he felt it would undo the work Obama did?
Stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them.
Why does Trump hate Obama so much? Who the fuck knows? Probably because Obama made fun of Trump. Trump gets super salty. Trump takes everything so fucking personally. Trump is such a little fucking bitch. Holy shit. Did you ever see the...
It is wonderful to be here at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
I don't even think Obama said anything that bad in 2011.
A week. As some of you heard, the state of Hawaii released my official long-form birth certificate. Hopefully, this puts all doubts to rest. But just in case there are any lingering questions, tonight, I'm prepared to go a step further.
Fuck. George Soros is calling. Hold on, I'll be back in 20 minutes, guys. Look at how fucking salty he is here, dude. Oh my god, he's so fucking mad. He's planning right now. I'm gonna become president, undo everything this motherfucker did. I am so pissed off. In case you didn't know, Donald Trump was one of the huge figures that pushed this idea that Obama was born in fucking Kenya, by the way. Holy shit. I'll be back in a little bit.